But I know you spent a lot of this week looking into all the major legal challenges that Trump still faces. So where do those still stand?
Yeah, well, there's sort of three camps each of these cases fall in. Some have been ruled on and are currently under appeal. Some have been dismissed, and one single case is just an ongoing disaster.
So what do the people need to know?
Yeah, let's start with the dismissals. So the classified documents case, dismissed. The federal election interference case, dismissed. The D.C. election interference case, dismissed. And hush money, this case, of course, not quite dismissed.
But about as close as you can get to a dismissal without doing one. And it's important to note that the Supreme Court's actions are a huge part of why these cases got dismissed. Last year, they ruled that official presidential actions were under the purview of Congress, which has the power to impeach and not for the judicial branch to charge.
Okay, so next let's take a look at the civil suits, which have a little bit of a lower bar, but also usually lower punishments. In the Jean Carroll defamation and abuse case, Trump has been ordered to pay $80 million in damages. And in the fraud case, where they alleged he overvalued his properties, he's been ordered to pay a whopping $355 million.
They were nice properties, and those were seen largely as political, since the rulings came down in the middle of his campaign and were perceived as either smears or stretches to try to bankrupt the campaign. For example, the victim in the overvaluation case, who were supposedly the ones defrauded, said that they actually had no problem with how the transaction played out and preferred the prosecutors to just leave it be.
Yeah, that's just such a mess. And that kind of takes us to our last case, which has been a total disaster. I'm, of course, talking about the infamous Georgia election interference case, which was overcharged, mismanaged, probably unconstitutional. And it was in so much of a shamble, they couldn't even dismiss the case in time for Trump's inauguration.
Is this the one where the two lead prosecutors were secretly sleeping with each other?
Yes, and they've both been ordered off of the case, but no prosecutor means no dismissal.
I still can't believe they got a public mugshot for this case. Half the charges are already dropped, and the ones they have left are shaky at best. I think they're leaving this one going just for the conspiracy theorists to have something to rant about, their one final chance to keep Trump out of office.
Yeah, and it's looking like dismissal is the likely outcome of this case as well, but they have to get a new prosecutor in first, and I'm sure that will just ever so conveniently happen at a time when they can run a full news cycle reminding people of these kind of charges.
So, Tyler, is that it? Trump's basically in the clear at this point?
That's what it looks like.
Honestly, this is half destroying my faith in the system and half restoring it. I don't know how to feel.
I kind of feel the same way. I mean, these charges never should have been brought, and the more we learn about the collusion between the White House and the district attorneys on these cases, the more it becomes clear that this was an attempt to sway the election.